Hey, it's Hannah. Let's organize my garage. I'll show you how I took my garage from this to this. I used a panel system, so I'll show you how to install the panels, making sure that they won't fall off the wall, all the different types of organization you can do, whether it's for your ball, for overhead storage, easy bike storage for your entire family, and how I built my dream workstation. Last week I started off by doing some of the budget things like installing hooks onto our ceiling so we could hang the bikes, building a door to cover up this ugly electrical panel, and painting my door pink, because why not? I will be the first one to admit that this project just lost steam. I had good momentum, but then it just lost steam. But it's a shared space, right? Like, we got the kids' bikes in here, we have storage. So I really need this space to function. So I'm gonna just do like this amazing garage makeover, and it's gonna be the favorite spot for everyone in the house. Mark my words. Well, at least for me. By some miracle, I got my garage cleaned out. I really need space because I'm having this big delivery come that's gonna have all the cabinets and the panels and everything I need to organize my garage. I mostly ended up boxing things and putting them in a corner, and now I'm just so excited and waiting for this delivery truck to come. I was not kidding around when I said there's a lot of boxes. This is going to be a huge garage transformation project, and it's really an investment in our house because we're not going anywhere and we need this space to work for all of us. So I have absolutely zero chill, and I really just want to see the cabinets that like my workstation will be made up of. So I'm going to start opening those. I think they're pre-assembled, but let's find out. I don't know what I was thinking, but if you've been here for a while, you know this is typical Hannah. I just think I can conquer anything myself, but clearly this workbench weighs like 1,000 pounds, and there's no way I can get it out myself. Okay, obviously not 1,000, but I'm just not strong enough to do it on my own. The other thing you should know about me by now is that I don't give up. So I managed to rearrange everything, and I'm gonna get this assembled. Okay, check out the size of these wheels. They're legitimately as big as my face. Wow, these are gonna be so heavy duty. All I wanted was to see one of these cabinets, so that's why we're gonna flip it. The wheels are on. This is the first part to my dream workshop, and I'm so excited to see it. I'm going to be using wall panels to hang everything on the wall. Because this is a small garage, we really need to use the vertical space. Okay, it is day one of installing a wall panel. So we got to get all this cleared out, and then we're going to put them up. I think it's going to be really awesome when it's done. There's a lot of different wall panel systems out there. The number one thing that I was looking for was versatility and being able to move things around and the types of hooks and attachments we could get. I chose the Gladiator wall panel system. I think this is going to be the best for our family as my kids are young now, so there's so many different hooks and attachments and you can move them around on the wall. So there's like bike hooks and ball baskets and shelves and just a lot of different options to help us as our family grows. Here's the scoop. These panels come in both 4-foot length and 8-foot length. This actually perfectly fits a 4-foot panel. You can also cut them down to size. Now you gotta start at the bottom and work your way up. So we drew a level line, and now we're installing the first panel, and then we'll just work our way up to the top of the wall. Before attaching these onto the wall, you need to find the studs. So I used my stud finder to find the studs, and then I drilled pilot holes. Now you need to make sure this goes into studs because you're going to be hanging heavy things off of this, and you don't want this to come crashing down. Once you've found the studs and drilled the pilot holes, then you can secure it with screws. So Abbas and I got into a pretty good groove. Like, you see, these two went in really easily. I'll fill in the screws because you're supposed to put in a screw at like every stud on every single row. A bit later when I don't have Abbas. But the next step is to actually cut out this outlet, which is right here. So that's the thing, right? You get into a good groove and then you need to do something hard. So let's do that. Okay, so I need to cut this out, so I'm gonna use toothpaste. I wish I had a more full tube. But I'm gonna use toothpaste, put it all around the inside. And then we're gonna press the panel up. Just the corner? That's a good idea. Okay. The kids, owl, what's it called? PJ Masks? Don't let them use it. Because of those dust?
There's dust on it now.
Oh wait, I think I put the toothpaste in too small. It has to be like further out. It's like the outer end. I don't know, this is terrible. Alright, you get the idea. Go, put it there. You have to like, make sure, wait, okay. Notch, okay.
Line up.
Yeah. And then just like, don't press it until... Are you sure? We're gonna pull it off here. Ready? Does it work? So to cut out the outlet, first you use a drill bit that's going to be bigger than your jigsaw blade. So you have to use a pretty big drill bit. You just get it into the corner. Now we can take our jigsaw and put it into that little hole and cut along the outline of the outlet. Moment of truth. Let's see if this fits correctly. How close is it? I'm impressed with my own abilities. How often do I ever get it right on the first try?
It was a toothpaste.
Never. It was a one corner of toothpaste. Yeah, it actually did help though. Okay. Guys, check this out. How good does that look? I have to like paint some of this, but like looks so good. Now, Abbas asked me, what am I most excited about of hanging anything? And I said, it's like his balls. Like, check out this ball caddy. Like, if you have kids and they love to play soccer and basketball, you probably have 1,000 balls like we do. Sweet. All right, Meeks, go. Put your ball in. Okay, so now when you guys are done playing, balls go in here and then take one out. Yeah, take it out.
So how do we take that big one out?
That's right, you just goes through the slot. Cool, right?
I did.
Is this like a basketball hoop for you? Show you how cool these hooks are, okay? So, as an example, this hook, okay, you see these little slots, right? It just pops right in. So you can fully customize this. You can rearrange it if like your kids grow up and you're like, you know what, I don't need to use this here. You can put it on a different wall. So I really love how it's like so configurable. You can just literally move them anywhere. Last night I marked the outlet for the water hose, so today I'm gonna cut it. So it should be the same as the electrical outlet, so let's do it because that one was easy breezy. I hope I didn't jinx myself. Voila! Okay, let's go put it on the wall. Once you get the hang of installing one panel, it actually is really repetitive. There's nothing too complicated about it. You just always have to make sure that you're finding the studs and then, you know, you're opening the boxes, taking them out and attaching them to the wall. And I actually really like projects like this where you're just doing the same thing over and over again because it's really fast and the impact is really high. Okay, I will say something about tools, so make sure you get a DeWalt impact driver. I have a lot of Ryobi tools and I really like them, but there's something about the DeWalt impact driver which is just so much stronger than the Ryobi one. I will link it below. It will just make your project go so much faster if you have a really high quality impact driver. Guys, check it out! I did this all by myself. That's amazing. I have to put that like edge stripping on now. So I didn't put any screws along the side at all because it's just really hard to install. And so I only put the screws in the middle. So we'll get that edge banding cut and we'll add it on. This is that edge stripping. It just finishes off your panel wall a little bit. I don't think it's necessary, but if you have a little bit of extra budget, you could spend it on that. You just cut it with scissors and then you put it behind the panels, and then you're not screwing the stripping, you're just screwing down the edges of the panels. As I install all my screws, okay, to get the panels up, I just want to reiterate, it's super important for this that you screw into studs, every stud location, because you're hanging heavy stuff and you don't want it to fall down when like someone goes to like grab a shovel, right? So always into studs. The fun part of this project is actually doing all the organization. The next part of this project is what I've been waiting for. It is setting up my workbench. Now, you know I am a huge DIYer, so having an awesome workbench is something that I really wanted and was a really big priority for me. So I got this 8-foot workbench. I wanted to get the biggest one possible because I'm often cutting really long lumber and I just need the space to hold all my tools and project materials. This is so heavy, I had to recruit my husband to help me. Okay, I've got a vase here. We're going to try hanging the cabinets. This is nervous laughter. But they are actually really light because they're made out of like aluminum. So like wood ones would have been a lot heavier. So let's just see. We're gonna just basically slide them onto the tracks. The awesome thing about this Gladiator system is that literally everything slides onto the panels. So not only was it like the hooks and the ball bag, but these cabinets just hang right onto the panels. You just have to make sure you space them appropriately from the bottom one to the top because it's got tracks on both. Did you catch it? We have a bit of a problem. Oh my goodness, do you see how close we got? So here's the issue. Our garage track is not straight and it is not level. So that means that while we were putting up this one, it was hitting it. So there's no way for us to hook it back and into it. Whereas the first one went in perfectly fine. But yeah, it's just not straight. So now we're trying to figure out what we should do. So I honestly, like, the reason I wanted them both to be taller was I have more room for my tools, but it's only like a 2-inch difference really. So maybe just move that one down and then they're like aligned. Once we placed the cabinets at the same height, they looked awesome. Initially, when I started this garage organization project, I thought I might be able to fit my car in here, but our garage is so narrow that if I only had like 7 more inches of width, I would be able to, but now with this workshop, it's not going to be possible. So it's just like a trade-off for us. Like, I would have loved to have it in the garage, but my workshop is more important, especially since I use it almost every day. So this is the last big wall that I need to plan out. So if you see here, this is actually a pipe. It's for the central vacuum. You can see it connects up to there. We don't have a central vacuum, but I have to work around it. Like, I can't cut it off because just in case in the future, if we're if ever sell our house, we need to just leave it there. So I'm going to butt up my panel actually right underneath it. And then the next one will sit on top. It's hard to cut like a circle in the middle, so you want to have like a panel right underneath so you can just make like a small cut at the bottom of the next one. When you're doing projects by yourself, you have to work smarter, not harder. So to put the bottom panels up, I've been using this trick all along. I put boxes and stack them up as high as I want it to go, and then I can rest that bottom panel on the boxes and screw it in. This is actually really hard to do on your own if like you're trying to hold the panel with one hand and screw it in with the other hand. They're just so heavy that you won't be able to do it. Setting up the overhead storage was a little bit more complicated. So these brackets are really cool. They can either go under your shelving or over depending on how you want to situate your wall. But the shelf is actually really heavy. I thought I could maybe mount this myself. It just slides into the brackets, but there was just no way I could do this. So I had to call reinforcement from, of course, my husband. Once you've got all the shelving installed, be sure to tighten all the nuts. So go in with your little hex nut and just go ahead and tighten it. These can hold a lot of weight, so you want to make sure they're really sturdy. I want to show you how much space these gear lofts have. So basically, like, I have probably, you can almost fit 2 of these bins stacked the other way, but this is a lot of space. Like, you could put so much stuff up here. So I've got 2 of these, so I think this is going to be awesome storage for like decorations, you know, out of season stuff. Like, it's just great. There are so many different types of baskets and hooks you can get. Like, these ones are going to be great. I can throw all my paint rollers, paint brushes in here. You could also store smaller things like cleaning supplies in them. Like, the possibilities are really endless, which is why I chose this panel system. Finally, there's a spot for all my scrap wood because I have a lot of scrap wood. Today I'm psyched because I'm going to be setting up our bike station. So we've got 3 kids, which means we have a lot of bikes, which also means we have to store our bikes, right? You want to keep the bikes for the next kid, but they're not ready for it yet. So we had this double bike rack for mine and Navas's bikes, and it worked okay, but honestly, it's really hard to get the bikes up and down, especially for me. So we're going to be using the Gladiator system. So we'll be adding a wall rack, and then on top of the wall rack is this bike mount. And it's really cool because you can push your wheel into it and it opens and closes. So I'm really excited to set this up for the bikes. On this wall, I saved a bit of money by using the Gladiator gear track panels. These are thinner, and because I just am hanging only like the bike clips, I don't need to have a whole wall of panels. So I just use these smaller ones. And again, I needed to make sure that like they are spaced out evenly because I am still hanging a top shelf onto it. But like, I saved over like $200 by just using these instead of using the full panels. I tried to configure this as best as I could. Here I created extra space by actually mounting the bikes under the shelf. So I've still got the storage space on top, and then we've got the bikes underneath. Are you ready for the reveal of this space? After I installed all the wall panels, I spent several hours organizing, figuring out the best orientation. Do you guys remember where we started with this garage project? I was pretty much lost. I had so much stuff to store. So with the help of all these Gladiator products, I feel like I've really created a workstation and a garage organization system that's going to last. I didn't want to have a system that in a few months would just be a big mess again, and I really feel like the ability to have a spot for everything is what's going to keep this garage organized for the long term. Hi friends, today I'm in my dream garage. I have been coming here and honestly just like looking at it like all the time. Just come and do that because it is such a huge upgrade from what we had before. I'm going to take you through like an in-depth tour in all my favorite parts of this garage makeover. There is so much goodness in this garage. I cannot believe that this is the same space. By painting that one wall black, we really added an interesting feature wall, and by leaving the rest of the space white, I think it really helps to brighten up the garage a lot. This is a shared family space, so now my kids know there's a spot for their balls. I know where my workstation is, and the best part is probably just that everything has a home. Everyone knows where the home is because it's so organized and tidy. The bike wall has to be one of my favorite spots. Look how easy it is to use the bike hooks. You simply push that button up with the wheel and then it pops open. I've got overhead storage for all my bins, for all of my wood, right? Like everything is just out of the way. I also labeled the overhead bins so I knew exactly what was inside of them. Since you can mount the overhead storage shelves at any height, I knew I wanted to be able to access them since I'm on the shorter side, but I can access them and I can just grab my ladder, which is right next to the shelving, set it up, and bring down any bins of decor or anything that I might need on my own. So obviously the workstation was really important to me as an avid DIYer. So here are some things I love, okay? I love this workbench. I got an 8-foot workbench. It is adjustable height, so if you're taller or shorter, you can totally adjust it to your needs. Everything here on the wall is reconfigurable. So I could take off this hook and add something different if this orientation doesn't work for me. Let me show you how organized all my tools are in here, okay? In the upper cabinets, I organize my stains, my smaller paints, and any of the materials that I need just on a day-to-day basis. So I hope you love this garage organization project. I think this is truly going to transform our life. Just having a really functional garage is stress-free, it doesn't give me anxiety, and I know where every single thing is. If you love this project, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time for my next DIY.